Kathy McAllister, T-Wife Creations here, trying to get myself in the little picture frame. So I know, all of you have been like, when is Kathy ever going to do another window box insert or start doing the Sawdust Makery kits again, start painting them? I know. So here I am today. Anyway, I'm going to do this really cute window box insert today. I was going to paint this, and I thought, well, I'll just have, if anybody is around and they want to watch, you can come along and watch paint dry with me. So anyway, let me get rid of the little me here. There. Anyway, this guy is so cute, and there's going to be another piece that isn't the window box insert. So for those of you who remember what the window box looks like, that's one. And then the breadboard is another display. And so this piece here, this hop into spring, slides in there. So you have that. I haven't decided the color on that yet. And then this just slips into place. And let's see, Froggy disappeared. So Froggy's going to go here. And you have these other mushrooms and some other pieces. But there's some smaller ones too. So anyway, there's a little guy that I want to put in a frame as well. And I would use the same painting techniques for that. So like if you don't do the window insert, then you can do the little frog. But I don't normally like frog art, but he's just so darned adorable. I just love him. So anyway, that's what I'm going to paint today. And I know I was last minute, so if you guys pop in and don't have time to stay, just that's fine. Pop in, pop out, or hop in and hop out. There we go. So, like I said, I was going to paint anyway, and now I don't have to paint alone. So, I was going to go over some of the colors that I've laid out that I was thinking of. So, frogs always have kind of this nice sort of vibrant green with some yellow tones. I guess they don't always, but that's what I'm envisioning. So I started out by painting him in avocado toast. And, I always do color therapy. So trying to figure out the colors that go together, I always enjoy doing that. So the avocado toast and the antique green work well together, with that antique green as being a shading one. And then there's some brighter colors that we might play around with adding into the frog, like new leaf and Irish moss. And then to go to like citron green and even thermal green. I love Irish moss, though. That's got to be one of my favorites. So that will work really good on there. So anyway, I went ahead and rolled the color on the frog to start with. And instead of going and doing the base coating now, I thought it'd be fun to kind of break it up so that for those of you who pop in, you're not having to just watch me base coat. So we're gonna go ahead and fix Froggy up, and Froggy's got some little hearts that are gonna go on his mouth. So you can see the little hearts will go there, and then he has his little hands that are going to go there. So anyway, I'm going to just start doing some dry brushing and some shading, and to try to bring them to life and see what we can do with the color. So lush green is another one. Antique green and lush green have some similarities to them. So the antique green has a little bit more yellow in it. This one might be slightly better for shading, the lush green. So I think I'm going to do the shading first, because I can always come back and add in more shading. And I'm going to use probably a little bit. Oh gosh, that's problematic. I need a paper towel for that. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to use a bit of lush green, and I'll probably come back and do some more shading with a brown tone as well, because I like to double shade and triple shade. So Colleen, if you're still around, this is the 1/2" Deco Art brush that you bought. And the thing that's kind of interesting about these brushes is that the bristles are a little bit stiffer for shading. They're very interesting for shading. I'll be interested to hear what you think of them. So anyway, again, I'm going with the antique green. Or is it lush green? Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna go in. One thing, sometimes when I shade before I dry brush, I know that you're supposed to shade after you dry brush to incorporate the dry brushing, and I can still do that. But sometimes my shading, when I'm walking it out, can be a little bit more streaky than I like. And I find that if I come back and do some dry brushing on top of it, it helps to blend it out and smooth it out. Anyway, when you're going to be putting elements on top, you can be pretty rough with your shading, and you can go in the lines. You don't have to worry about it. So laser cut pieces can be really forgiving that way. So I'm just gonna put shading here and there, and if it doesn't work out, that's fine too. I might even put a little bit under his smile. Just a little bit under his smile. Just to make it pop a little bit. So I kind of feel like I should have maybe made him a little bit darker, but I can always walk out my shade, add some color that way, come back in, dry brush. I'm just going to go pretty much around the whole thing. So this tab, of course, won't show. Yeah, so what are you guys... Yeah, he's the cutest. He is just such a cute little frog, though, Loretta, don't you think? He's awfully cute. He's awfully cute. So I'm guessing, you know, this is where his smile is, but really he should have a shade where his chin is as well. I probably didn't need to put the one under his smile, but I did. Oh, okay. Ah, frog collector. See, I'm not much into frogs. They're just not the kind of furry, you know, cuddly animal that I like. But this is so cute. I just love it. I think that Chris Howard of Sawdust Makery, she just hit this guy out of the park. But that would hurt if you hit this guy out of the park. I don't think Froggy would like that. So, yeah, I was listening to the videotape that I just posted. Anyway, when I had done the Heart Girl video, and I realized that I had a double mic going, and it's like, what are you going to do? So, like I said, it sounds, part of that video sounds like I'm snorkeling underwater in a deep, dark cave where no one goes. Yeah, it's not the best. So it turns out, like, I like to listen to music. Oh, this is from Sandy. Hasn't put these on her website yet. She's letting me preview this. This is her floating sponge, and it keeps the moisture. It keeps the moisture. It's a very, very, very dense sponge. So I don't have to use my kitchen sponge anymore. So, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Okay. Yeah, so when I discovered that I was double mic'd because I like to listen to music while I do my video tutorials. And so I talk and I listen to music at the same time. Well, I forgot that my AirPods actually work as speakers. I mean, microphones. So I had the microphone on my laptop and the microphone in my AirPods. Yeah. Don't do that again, Kathy. Don't do that again. Okay. So that's just a beginning. I'm going to come back. It's very rough, and that's fine, because we're gonna make him gorgeous. We're going to keep working on him. So, got my favorite. These are my favorite dry brushes. I like Josiah's too. Lynn Andrews Stipplers and the Dynasty 200s. I love the Dynasty 200s. They're a little bit softer, as I've said before. But anyway. So what I think I'm going to do is, because he's awfully light, I've set my shading down, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to reinforce a little bit of it just by doing some dry brushing. So just going to use my softer brush. So it's really a dry brush or a blender. So I'm going to come, and it also helps to smooth out some of my original shading, because I was just kind of laying it down and not as clean as maybe I should be. But blending and dry brushing does wonders to hide a lot of that. And I was saying that this is the window box insert, but there is another frog that is that can be put into a frame. So that way, if you don't do the window box, you can still get Mr. Frog, because Mr. Frog is just way too precious. He needs to be adored and shared by mankind. So now I didn't do anything on here with the shading, so let me see. On this, you kind of need to know what's up and what's down, so I think it goes that way, because these things aren't really interchangeable. So like if you try to put them in that way, you'll see they're not interchangeable. I guess I could go in a little bit closer with my camera. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some shading on his hands. Okay, so what are frog hands called? What are frog hands called? I don't even know. Okay, so I'm going to say the bottom, make sure I got that right. The bottom and the right are going to be my darker areas. So, all right. And I probably am going to make these lighter than the rest of the body because, of course, the hands are going to be, okay, again, what are frogs' hands called? Webbed feet, I don't know. They will be to the foreground. So because they're in the foreground, you do want to make them lighter. So we'll work on that. Okay, so let's see. On his nose, I just feel like he needs something around his nose because you just feel like a nose will always throw a shadow. So, all right. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to start adding in some lighter color. So that was either antique green or lush green. I can't remember what I put down. Okay, so we're going to move. This is going to be a little different. This color is slightly out of that tone. But sometimes if you if you offer a different tone, you can really change up the feeling of the piece. So that one, oops, hello, is New Leaf. So the first color we used was, let me see. The first color we used was Avocado Toast. And then I shaded with, I think, Lush Green. So Avocado Toast was the first coat. And Avocado Toast is really nice. So now I'm going to come in on top of this Avocado Toast. And I'm even going to go over some of the areas that I had previously shaded. And I'm going to use some avocado, New Leaf. New Leaf. So I'm just going to come in and brighten him up in areas. And we have to do his appendages as well. His hands. So this is just to kind of add a little bit of interest in, I love the original color of the avocado toast, so I don't want to completely wipe it out, but I just want to make it a little different. Okay. So it's making him a little bit more traditionally green by doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to come back with, we are going to do my favorite Irish moss. So this is going to brighten them back up again. So we keep the Irish moss off of the shaded areas. So in addition to webbed toes and adhesive pads, Frog's feet also possess the ability, okay, alrighty. So are they all feet? Okay. Oh my God, that's really long. Oh well. Okay, I'm just going to call them feet then. Frog's feet. What's for dinner? I guess you guys saw my post earlier. Okay, whoops, that was a little wet. That's one thing with these Dynasty 200s, because they are softer. They don't behave the same way as some of the stiffer traditional dry brushes that you have, that I use. You and I have. So you have to be careful sometimes that they're not too wet. But they're really cool for laying down color. He's looking very, very different now. So it's okay. Frog legs sound, yeah, frog legs work. One thing definitely he's got to have is his little dots for the barnacles or whatever those are called. All these frog parts I don't normally talk about. I don't know. So his little, those little warts on his head. So in case I don't put them on during the live, I will eventually put them on. So that, keep that in mind. You want to finish them off with some dots. So I am moving to Citron Green, and this you want to go much lighter with. And at some point, you want to come in and use some white highlights. So his eyes need to be kind of bright around his eyes. So you can see that there's separate little pieces that will just be traditionally white and black. So pretty easy. So I'm just coming in with a little bit of the Citron Green. It's easy. Okay, so a little bit more of the citron. So you're really going to get that pop and brightness with the citron. So like I said, around the eyes. And so, you know, I could come back with brown and shade him, but I'm not even sure he needs brown. You know, he has that antique green on him as a shade. It's either antique green or lush green. I forget. Okay, so he needs to have some cute cheeks. So I'm gonna grab another dry brush and give him. I could just use this one, but it would take a long time to get the color out of it, and I don't want to wash it right now. Okay, so I pulled out some tea berry. So we're going to use tea berry. So this is for doing some cheeks and blush. So we're going to use that. I'm going to really try to dry that down a bit because I don't want them to have just way too much color on them. Okay, so I'm going to go out here where the heart starts, the little heart and a smile. I'm going to start out there. And so that still is pretty bright, but hey ho, that's fine. He's a very, very happy frog. A very happy frog. Okay. I love this guy. I just love him. He's so cute. So you can put a little bit on his hands. I'm running out. But, I just got my brush in the paint. I don't know about you guys, but I never, ever, ever have enough space on my desk, my art table. Never, never. Okay, so just a little bit. That's still pretty wet. And if it's too much blush for you, you can come back and go back over it with the green. And you always need a happy tummy. Every frog needs a happy tummy, so we're going to put some color in there. Excuse me. I'm getting too dry. Okay. So if that is too strong for you, I got my dirty brush over here. I can just pick it up because it's still got enough juice in it. And I can come back in and do some more blending. Tea berry and these greens really seem to complement each other. So just blend, 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 blend. And again, I'm not sure that he really needs, like I could come back with more like brown. So I don't know. I'm going to come back with just a little bit of lush green avocado toast. I kind of went over the line here when I was trying to create like a shade for his chin. And I just want to smooth that out a little bit. It's a little rough. And also up here where I did his lip. So I'm just going to blend that a little bit. So, all right. I got me some white. And I'm just going to come in and just float some highlights. So, where to put the highlights? Definitely you want to have some on his toes. And up the brighter side. So a little bit of highlight. I need to put this down so I can actually do this properly. A little bit here. So I don't know about doing it right at the top. I kind of feel like maybe underneath the shading a little bit. Not at the top. Okay. Okay. There could be other places we can add some shading. I mean, we could like add just a little bit above the smile. I don't know. I don't think I like that. It's too bright. too bright. So I'm going to tone that down by just slightly rubbing it out. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Sometimes it's just an experiment, you know, when you haven't really planned it out. Okay. So we need to think about his warts. So we're going to put some yellow. I've got moon yellow and banana cream. I have some saffron, and I need some asphaltum. Okay, so my darkest green that I have is, I'm going to use the lush green. So I'm going to start putting some lush green barnacle warty things on him. So I need a stylus. Okay, so let's think about where he probably would have these little spots. So that's not going to really show up. I'm going to have to go darker. Going to have to go darker than that. So let me see. Let me pull the avocado, see if that's any darker. It is a little darker. Still not very dark. So, and then on the hands, we're going to come down. I have to admit right now I'm copying what Chris Howard did. She is one talented lady. So she is. I don't know how she creates all these masterpieces. So I'm kind of putting dots where she put dots. So she was just kind of doing it like right here and then up on the top and along the sides of the legs and on the darker side of the feet. All right, a bit of asphaltum. All right. So just here and there. Giving him some barnacle warts. Don't forget his hands. Nothing special. Just a few bits and bobs here and there. Okay, so now I'm going to come back with a bit of yellow. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of banana cream. Actually, I really like this citron green too. That will really pop. That's pretty cool. So, whoops. Yeah, the citron green's really popping for sure. So it's got quite a few dots going on now. So, I don't know. I guess I'll put a few white ones in. Anyway, what I was saying earlier, Linda, is I will cut, I may cut some of the wood, but I already talked to Cheryl, and she said she would be happy to cut this as well, but I'm hoping to have a few of these cut, so like, 5 or 6 or whatever, but Cheryl will pick up what I don't have time for. So, because I already talked to her about this, and she said, sure, she would cut it. So, okay. Oops, I forgot to do more on his feet. Yeah, because it's really cute, and like you said, you've got to get some for. I can't remember if you said it was son-in-law and daughter, or anyway, excuse my brain. I'm half the time frazzled here. Okay, so let's see. What else? A little bit of white. So I will cut some stuff. I just I'm just not able to cut you know, like uh 30 orders anymore. So, because I end up not having any time to create. Okay, so I'm just going to leave him aside, and he's looking pretty good. I don't know if I like the white up there, and if I don't, I will just, I don't know if I like the white. So the way to fix that is come back with your dry brush, and I don't think I like it in this necessarily in the smile either. I'm going to have to give it some thought, but that's why it's always good sometimes just put things away when you get to a certain point and revisit it later. Okay, so now we've got some shrooms. We have some cattails as well. Now I'm starting to wonder if I cut out the right piece for the cattails. Okay, so those are just done onto the board. And then you have little separate pieces for the cattails. So on the cattails, they look like these little capsules here. What I'm going to do with them, and I'm trying to see on the mushroom how this works. So this piece goes on here. Nope, the wrong one. That's the bigger one there. So on the shrooms, like you can do a light color. Okay, Penny. Good to know. I have had a chat already with Cheryl though, and she probably would be cutting. She and I are going to share on cutting some of these things. So I don't want to completely, you know, go out of the loop on cutting. I would like to do some. So, so on the mushroom, you can go basic white. You could go oyster beige, but oyster beige has a little bit of gray in it, and our colors have yellow. So the tone and everything is yellow. So I need to, what I probably am going to do is mix some color to do underneath the shrooms. And on these little cattails, what I'm going to do, Deco Art is discontinuing this product, but I still really like it. So I'm going to use it while I can. This is their suede, and it's going to give me some texture. So this one is a pretty kind of reddish brown cinnamon color, but it's going to give these little cattails some texture, and I want that. So I'm going to just pounce that on. I've got a dirty brush here, so I'm going to use that. So it has a bit of a grit in it. So I got introduced to this product by Deb Bloomfield. That I had mentioned this the other day. She uses it when she paints gingerbread men because it makes it have a texture and it kind of looks, you know, like baked gingerbread man. So I'm going to just pounce that in and let that dry. And I'm going to go ahead and rinse some of my brushes. I'm going to do some more dry brushing, but I'm going to be changing colors. So I want to go a little bit darker brown on these, but I wanted the texture that you get from that. So you could use like a red spice. That's the color I had pulled. So terracotta and red spice. You can start with some of those colors if you want, and then layer on some brown. Okay. And so the tops, there's 3 mushrooms. And I'm going to kind of follow similar colors to Chris. And she had 2 of them are like a reddish color, and 1 is more of a yellow color. So I'm going to kind of combine that, and I'm going to use colors like scarlet and sunset yellow. So sunset yellow or sunset gold? Saffron yellow and sunset gold. Okay. So one of the caps, scarlet, tiger lily, red alert, country red. Okay. Country red, scarlet. So I'm going to start by putting Red Alert on 2 of these. So I'm going to use the Red Alert on the bigger one. I'm going to save the medium-sized one to do in yellow. All right, so I'm going to get a sponge. And I'm going to cut that sponge. Whoops, well that one went off the table. Okay, again, I'm using Red Alert. So it's going to be pretty bright in your face, but we're gonna tone it all down, and then we're going to bring the color back up. We're going to do some shading. We're going to just make it super special. So again, this is Red Alert. Alert, alert. Sorry, it's Saturday. I gotta be entertaining here. I don't want to be grumpy and sad. I gotta be fun. So, okay. So saffron yellow is very bright. The sunset gold is a little bit. I'm gonna live bright and go with the saffron yellow. And I'm gonna put that one on my medium mushroom. Oh well. Yeah, these are going to be very, very bright. I may want to tone them down, but I'll see. Okay. And then I want to use a lighter color on the toadstools. I'm just trying to see what pieces I have here. Okay. All right. So it helps you to see how this comes together. That goes there. That goes there. That's there. Okay. And then this little guy is going down here somewhere. And the smaller piece goes on top of that. Okay. So this would be primarily white, this piece here. But the base of the toadstools, we can do in like a fawn or a similar color. Let me see what I got. A burlap. Oyster beige has gray in it, so we don't want that. Bleached sand or sand would work. Sorry, I didn't pull these colors. I forgot to pull the toadstool colors. That's awfully light. That's awfully light. Let me see. I need a fawn or a toffee. Desert sand. Ah, desert sand. I'm going to go with desert sand. And maybe fawn would work better. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to do right now. So you can sponge on or brush on the toadstool colors. And you can do it really simply and just, do the white up here at the top. Now, if you want to retain your lines here, it's better to sponge. So I'm going to take a little bit of Snow White. I probably should just use warm white. I'm going to take a little bit of Snow White and I'm going to add in a little bit of yellow, banana cream or moon yellow. That's moon yellow. And I'm going to just mix because I just want a tinge of yellow in the tops of the toadstools. Okay. So it's just ever so slightly, but I just want a little bit. I just don't want it to be 100% bright white. And I don't really want it to be cream either. So you can see there's a little bit of yellow in that. And then here, same thing. And when you're going over the score lines, just lightly, right? You don't want to lose all of those. And then you can be more aggressive on the areas that don't have score marks. And then light. Try not to fill them in. If you use a brush, you're going to fill them in. So laser cut pieces require kind of a different approach than what you might do if you were just doing a flat piece. Okay, and same with this. I'm running out of paint. Let me see. So I just used a bit of moon yellow with the Snow White. Okay, so come back to this cap. Okay, and then these, I guess I'm going to use the desert sand. And again, you could use fawn or toffee or something like that. And on that, I can grab a brush. And you're just brushing it on. So this is kind of like the part where you watch paint dry. Base coating is so much fun. I don't mind doing base coating. It's just when you're doing a demo online and, you know, it's just boring to watch base coating. I do actually like that desert sand. I really do. That's pretty cool. Because, again, there's yellow in this project. And if you pull out something that has gray in it, it's, you know, it's kind of not going to match as well. So I'll need to do another coat on these guys. Although they're covered up, so you can get by with these things are covered up. I definitely have to do a second coat here. Okay, so let me get my dryer. Dry that right quick. So, yeah, this red alert is extremely red. It's a really pretty color. It's a kind of a ladybug color, I think. Well, I don't know, maybe. But it is really a strong, gorgeous color. Very strong. Okay, so now I'm going back to the saffron yellow. Yeah, I think I was talking to my husband. He agrees that standard time probably works better for him. I just like it to be dark in the morning, so I think that's daylight savings time. I know it's not fair to the people who are having to get up early and take their kids to school, but yeah, I like it dark in the morning. Yeah, because I'm not a morning person. I like to sleep in. So one thing I really like when I do sponging with the craft sponges, it's kind of, sorry about my lights, they're just kind of washed out. Let me see if I can go up there. Nope, still can't see it. But you get a little bit more texture by using a sponge. So I like sponging. And I've told you guys before, that's why I use the yellow craft sponges. There are times that I will use the white makeup sponges. You're going to get a smoother texture. And that's what most people like, but you know, I'm weird and I like my texture. So that's why I use craft sponges. Man, that still looks opaque. I'm going to go back over that, I think, with some sunset gold. So the saffron yellow, I guess, is a little bit more transparent, and so it's looking too blotchy for my taste. So that's another thing I do, because I know some people are like, well, how'd you get it to look that way? Well, I use a lot of different colors and I layer them. And so I started with saffron yellow. Now I'm going to sunset gold. I'm just picking it up on my dirty sponge. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm a little happier with that. So it creates kind of a duo tone going in there. And I still want to get more color on these guys. So I need to mix up some more white with the moon yellow. All right, white and moon yellow. A little bit more white. Okay. Come back in here and remember the score lines. Since this is pretty wet, I'll come back to this other side. And because I don't want to mess up the score lines. So lightly over the score lines. Okay, that ought to do it. I see on this red alert, I still have a spot. There we go. Okay. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and, while this stuff is drying, I'm going to go ahead with the red alert and do the hearts. That's not bad. Okay, I'm going to use lavender haze on the flower. And then I'll come back in and do the little center. Oh, actually you don't have to because you got a button. All right, I've got a little bit of sunset gold. I'm just going to put that there. So those who paint with me know I'm an artist of opportunity. So if I've got something in my hand, I'm just going to use it. So I will, it's like sometimes I may not have planned to put a color in a certain area, but I'm an artist of opportunity. And it's like, oh, I think I'll just use that here. So anyway. So that was, God, you guys need to keep me honest here. I keep forgetting what colors I'm pulling. Lavender haze and peri peri. So my mouth is going and then I lose track of what I'm using. So lavender haze with peri peri. That's what I'm using. Okay, so we got to do some shading and some highlighting. So that was asphaltum. And this is completely optional. I'm not even sure I need to be doing it, but you know what? I could do it even with a dry brush. So I'm just kind of putting in little shade circles. This is one of those little extras that I do because I like detail. I don't like perfection. I'm not a perfectionist, but I do like detail. So I'm too messy to be a perfectionist. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take a darker yellow. I don't have a darker yellow. I'm just going to go to the honey brown and I'm going to put some shading in on the yellow cap. So I'm going to just kind of hold this in place. This is honey brown. Okay, so that's where it lines up. So let me go a little bit higher so I can get a little bit of a shade in here. Yeah, that's the tick. Oops, it's not even showing. Let me go, let me walk that down a little bit. And I don't think this will show, but I'm just gonna try to smooth that line out a little bit. So red alert was asphaltum. So it's a little dark. I think I think maybe dark chocolate may have been better. But you know, that's what happens when I'm painting live. I've never painted this piece before. So some of it is just kind of trial and error. Okay, so I'm going to come down with a little bit more honey brown. And I'm just going to, ooh, that's one wet shading brush. I could shade on both sides. Might make the mushroom feel a little bit more complete. And that one is still wet. Okay, I completely missed this one. So, anyway. Okay, so just a little bit of shading here and there, and I need to come back in again with the honey brown, and I'm going to just do some little circles around the holes. This is like silly detail that I like doing that, you know, I think for me, that's kind of what makes these laser cut kits. If you can do some of these extra little things, you can do them really, I say this all the time, you can do them really simply, or you can add in a couple of little extra touches. And if you're teaching them for classes, you know, do them basic sponging, you know, easy tricks that you can show your participants and everything. But then if you're doing them for yourself or maybe to give as a gift, you might want to do some of these extra little steps because it just makes them special. So, okay, let's see where we are. We need to do a little shading on the flower. So I have the Perfect Perry. So I'm going to do a little shading. Let me think how I want to shade it. And remember, this is all whimsical, so there's no light rules. Don't be thinking about where your light source is coming necessarily, because it doesn't really matter. So you can just do like shading from the middle. Okay, so Perfect Perry is not dark enough. Again, since I'm just painting as I go here, no, it's a little bit, it's not too bad. It's not too bad when it dries. Okay, Perfect Perry. I will stick with that then. Okay. And the center's going to have a button in it, so I'm just going to go into the center and not worry that I'm going into the center. And I'm going to walk it out a little bit. Okay. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me today. We're having absolutely gorgeous weather outside. I really should be outside doing something, but here I am inside. Inside with my favorite people. Okay, a bit of banana cream. And so I'm going to make a decision on this, that this is my top. So I'm just coming in with a little bit of banana cream. And then I'll use a little bit of honey brown on the bottom. Little bit of honey brown. Just a little touch. A little touch will do ya. Okay, and that's really all the button needs. And then I'm going to pop out this flower. And I want to do some dry brushing on it. I just wanted to make sure that I've got a dry brush here that I need to get in the water. I forgot about that one. Okay, let me get a dry brush. A clean dry brush. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of, you can use wisteria or lavender haze. The wisteria is the lightest one. I'm going to start with a little bit of lavender haze because it is the medium tone. Okay, so people know what I like to do when I have these laser cut pieces. You have your dry brush. Flick off the edges, flick off the edges, just like that. And you kind of bring the color in as you do this. So, and then take the lighter wisteria and then do the same. So those who know, I've been doing dry brushing for quite a long time. I wasn't in decorative painting. I started with ceramics when I was in Malaysia, and I taught classes there in dry brushing, not dry brushing, in ceramics, which involved a lot of dry brushing. So I was a certified teacher to teach Gear products. So anyway, now I'm losing a little bit of my shade, and I might get a really small, so even though I wasn't doing decorative painting, I did start dry brushing yonks ago. Okay, so let me get that Perry, Perfect Perry. I think that's this one here. I think. I'm just going to try to get some shade in there. I'm going to stipple it. Yeah, I know, Colleen, that sometimes it does get a little bit overwhelming and unrelenting when there's ice and snow all the time, and it's just so cold. I mean, this has just been so weird here. It's been really weird. So sometimes that we will end up having one of these late spring blizzards, and they can do a lot of damage to the trees and the fruit and all of that. So I want it to be a little bit darker. I'm just going to take this dioxanine, I can't ever pronounce this, dioxanine purple on my dirty brush, and I'm going to do some more stippling. So this is a little bit more translucent than some of the colors, and I just want it to get a little bit darker in that center. So you've got the light and the dark going on there, and then the button. So that's that piece done. So that introduces a little bit of purple. So now, like I could do like lavender haze, periwinkle, yeah, lavender haze maybe, and Perfect Perry on the base. And then I could do a yellow, I think, on Hop into Spring. Or I could do white. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? If I did like lavender and wisteria, and then maybe used these two colors for shading, should the words be like white glitter? So we have to think about you know, we've got these greens and these yellows. So what would you do? Would you go with a yellow? Would you go with white? Would you go with white glitter? So I'm probably going to do like lavender haze on the sign background. So vote. What would you do these letters in? Lavender haze kind of color. White, yellow, white with glitter. Okay. So Virginia goes for yay glitter. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a fan of glitter at all. What are you talking about? So we could go glitter. Do the word spring in spring colors. Okay. So like, yeah, you could do different colors for each. I'm also feeling polka dots. I'm channeling polka dots in this too. But yeah, I mean, this could be white with glitter or something like that. Okay, so Penny likes the idea of yellow words. So anyway, have to think on that one. I appreciate your input. So it's like I always do all of these bits. It always flows naturally. Then I go to do the sign and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Okay, so let us do some dry brushing now. One thing I have to do are these pieces here, the leaves of the cattails. And I may or may not do it while you guys are watching because I'm like, details that I'm not that interested in. Now, the other fun thing is I like the idea of putting on like a black or a dark brown color for his glasses and then putting glitter on those. I want to put glitter on his glasses. I think that would be so cool. And yes, I still need to do his eyeballs. Oh, okay, so that's going to hide that little horrible highlight I put in there too. That looks so bad. So I am going to put glitter on his glasses. Okay, so the words, glitter on the words. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. But yeah, he's got to have. Now, what you could do too, well, anyway, they definitely are going to be glittered. So that is for sure. And then here's these little cattails. So I'm going to play with doing some dry brushing on that. So I'm going to, well, I won't pop them out just yet. Let me see. I'm starting to run out of dry brushes, actually. I don't think I would ever run out of dry brushes. I buy so many of them. Yeah, those glasses are just adorable. Adorable. Okay. So I think first I'm going to just throw in a little bit of shade on these cattail bottoms. So we don't know which direction the bottom is right now, but we are going to go ahead and add in a shade, and that will tell you, oh, that's the bottom of the cattail. So we're just going to throw in some shade. I'm going to throw some shade, man. I'm too old to try to be cool. What am I doing? Okay, so that's my bottom here. I like doing live videos that are free to everybody. So, you know, that's how we share and that's how we learn. So if it wasn't for teachers showing me, I wouldn't be here today. So, okay. So let me do a little bit of dry brushing on this. So I want to go a little bit lighter brown. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of the honey brown, which I still have here. And you can leave it in here to do the dry brushing, or if you want to catch it on its edge, you can take them out. Let me just pop that up a little bit. This is probably a little bit lighter than cattails should be. That probably I could have gone darker on this. I could have started with like an espresso and lightened it up. So didn't these guys turn out really good? So, so like I said, if you wanted to use like that suede, you could, but Red Spice or Terracotta, asphaltum down here, and then I used a combination of honey brown and desert sand to highlight. And you know, they're tiny little pieces, but they look good when they're dry brushed. Okay, so let's do something special with these caps. So they're very bright. I'm going to make them brighter. I don't know. Maybe I won't like it, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to take the Scarlet, and I got my dry brush. My dry brush is kind of dirty right now, but it's not going to make that much difference. So that's Scarlet. So Scarlet has this kind of orangey reddish tone to it. So we're gonna flick it across the surface, and we're also using the fact that we laid down texture with our craft sponge. So it's kind of subtle. And if you feel like you need to come back and do some more shading, you can. Okay, so that's interesting. That's the Scarlet. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the Neon Fiery Red, and we're going to just make that pop a little bit more. So this is a bit of cadmium yellow. You could use sunset gold. Dirty brush. So we're just slowly changing up the color dynamics. And you're probably going to want to float some white across the top as well. But isn't that interesting, the way that it just changes color like that? So it started with this bright red. And I need to do that with the hearts too. But, you know, see how different that is? Just a little bit of dry brushing. Okay. So now we need to come and visit this one. And I'm going to come in, let's see, I'm going to use that cadmium yellow that I just put down. Got to get another dry brush. So if you saw how many dry brushes I had, you'd be like, okay, Kathy. As I told people before, I mostly wear Skechers now. I don't wear a whole bunch of different kinds of shoes anymore. My poor old feet. So I got to collect something. So I collect brushes. It might be interesting to come back with a dry brush with a little bit of that honey brown and go around the holes. I don't know. So that was cadmium yellow, and then this is what's left over of moon yellow. Dirty brush. That is so cool. That is so cool. Now, we want to tie these in to one another. So, how do you do that? Dirty brush, got yellow. Come back in the areas that need the lighter color. Bring that color in. Okay, same thing. That was the brush I was using earlier on the red. So we need to come back in with a little bit of scarlet. And really dry it off. I don't want to overwhelm things here. And I'm just going to bring that in kind of in the body. I don't want it to be at the top because you want the brightness on the top. So now, even though they are different colors, they are tied together. Okay. So these little toadstools are driving me a little crazy because they're a little bit too streaky. So I'm going to get another dry brush, and I'm trying to think what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go into the honey brown. So that's what I shaded with, but I just want to bring in a little bit more tone. So I'm going to go into the honey brown with my dry brush, and I'm just going to go and blend some of these areas here. Okay. So that spot up there, I can see some of the white was showing through. Okay, so I'm just giving it a little bit more warmth here and there. Okay, and now I want to come back with a little bit of brightness. So let me see what color I want for that. I need one of the sands. So we used desert sand to initially paint it. Now I want, I'm going to use a little bit of sand. So it's a shade lighter. So this had a bit of yellow in it, so I'm going to kind of work that out a little bit. So if you do dry brushing, and you know, they tell you don't wash out your brush. Although I have to say, these Dynasty 200s, you can wash them and dry them really good, and you won't have that issue of them holding water the way some of the stiff bristled ones do. Okay, so this is just sand. I'm going to come into the center, and I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit because I like the varied look of dry brushing. I like the layered look. So you can see what I'm talking about here. So we're lightening up the center. Okay. All right. So let us see. I still have leaves to do, but I'm not probably going to do it on camera. I'm trying to think here what goes where. Let's see what we've got so far. I always like this part where you're kind of partway through, or actually we're more than partway through, and you start putting pieces together. Where is this piece? Where did I put? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So that goes in there. And I do need to do the background because you can see you know, I've got to do the leaves, and then I don't know how much of this will show, so I need to have a neutral color back here, and I hadn't really worked that through yet. So, oh gosh, this is so cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I love it. I love it. Ribbit. So, this is so precious. Oh my gosh. So I think this one goes here. Oh, it is so good looking. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. Phew. I thought I put the light colors in the wrong place. And that's going to, oops, where's his feet? We've lost his feet. There's one there. And there's one there. And then this little thing goes here. Yeah, thank you, Linda. It is so cute. Oh my goodness. So I still have the eyeballs. I have the glasses. Oh, cattails, cattails. I have to do the leaves on the cattails. And then of course I have to do the sign. So I will post a photo when it's all done. Oh my gosh, he is just too cute. So like I said, there is a smaller one that fits into like a little frame. But I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna come finish this evening, and I will post a photo. But I really loved having you guys watch me paint, and it's so nice not to have to paint by myself. Anyway, I'm going to end this live if I can get my mouse to work. All right, guys. Love ya. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.